Over the past 2 years, I've made myself and my clients over $500,000 in revenue using the simple lead generation outbound workflow. And in this video, I'll give it all away so that you can learn everything I know about doing outbound lead generation in under an hour. We'll go over my 2-step formula to do outbound lead generation so that you can book more meetings and sign more clients. Let's hop right into it. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is my $500,000 lead generation outbound workflow. And this video will be really helpful for you guys that are doing lead generation services for your clients. So whether you're doing cold email or whether you're doing Google ads to, let's say, chiropractors, or you're doing Facebook ads to dentists and you're offering lead gen, whatever it may be, if your service or offer is essentially lead generation, here's how you can pitch that to your ideal customers, right? So the 3 tools that you're going to need are pretty simple and straightforward. You're going to use SmartLead to send out cold emails. You're going to use clay.com to enrich those emails, and you're going to use OpenAI to give you some really good market research and market feedback so that you can essentially figure out what types of customers are the most valued by your ideal prospects and how many of them are they getting per month and how many can you pitch to them so that it's enticing to them, right? And I'll get into all that, how all that stuff works later on in the video. The first step you're going to do is market research, right? And you're going to primarily do this just by using OpenAI. And let me show you how. So, like I said, you're going to use OpenAI to find their most valuable customer. So what I mean is, a dentist, they have, pediatric patients, they have orthodontic patients, they have dental implants or just cleaning and all of that. So they have like many different types of patients. And what you're going to do is you're going to find out the most valuable one that they're enticed by, right? And how you're going to do this is you're going to go chat GPT and ask it, what is the most valuable customer or patient that this type of clinic or this type of business wants. And this applies to quite literally everything. So I remember when we were doing commercial real estate lead generation, one of the most valuable clients for commercial real estate companies were high net worth individuals, right? I mean, it makes sense, but when you really think about it, and what you instead of just pitching like, hey, we'll get you leads, and when you pitch, we'll get you high net worth individual clients, they get really enticed because they're like, okay, this guy's speaking exactly the same vernacular, the same, I guess, phrases and words that we use to describe a customer, and he's describing them to me, and it's enticing, right? So what you're gonna do is go to ChatGPT and literally ask it like, what's the most valuable customers that this type of business has, right? And then once you find that most valuable customer, approximate how many of those customers they get per month, per quarter, whatever it may be, right? So so that whenever you do pitch, pitching, getting them customers, you can basically be like, hey, we know you get, let's say, 20 new pediatric patients we can help you get 20 new pediatric patients every single month for your dental clinic, right? That's an example. I don't know if that's really true or that's a good amount, but basically figure out how many of those valuable customers they get per month, and quite literally you can pitch that same amount in the emails itself. So if they do get, let's say most dental clinics get like, let's say 40 pediatric patients a month, pitch 40 pediatric patients a month, or like pitch half of that. You could do 20, you could do 30. Mess around with the numbers, but all they're trying to do here is figure out like a rough range of how many of those types of customers do they get per month, and you're gonna mess around with the numbers to find a good fit and make it so it's just enough to the point where it's enticing, but not enough to where it feels like you're over delivering, or like not over delivering. It's just enough to the point where it's enticing, but not insane amount to the point where it sounds unrealistic, right? And then finally, figure out how they're getting them. For most of the businesses getting these customers, it's mostly referrals, word of mouth, or they might be using paid ads, or they might be using trade shows, whatever it may be. Figure out how they are getting those customers. So, for example, if we're doing the dental clinic example again, most valuable customer, let's say pediatric patient, or pediatric patient. How many are they getting per month? Let's say 20. How are they getting them? Referrals, word of mouth, right? So you're just going to list out step by step how they're doing this. And I would do it for, I would say, 3 of the most valuable ones, and you can use those 3 to test out in the emails itself. Or, I would say get 3. So find 3 of the most valuable customers, find out how many approximately they're getting per month, and figure out how they're getting them. And let me show you how this all works, right? Here, one of my clients is offering Google Ads to home service or home remodeling companies, right? And I asked it like, hey, what types of companies do home remodeling companies want? And he tells me like homeowners planning major renovations, homeowners in high income neighborhoods like luxury homes, homeowners preparing to sell, and new homeowners and first time buyers, right? So what I would do is I would literally go 1, 2, 3, write this down, and I would have it. Then what I said was, okay, well, to pitch getting them clients in the email, it sounds okay. It doesn't really sound enticing if I say, hey, we'll get you 10 homeowners planning major renovation leads every single month. That sounds okay. Honestly, that's not that bad. It sounds okay, but you want to use the same language that they use in their day to day life. That way you can relate to them more, and that way they can feel like you understand them, right? So I said, okay, those are the leads that, okay, thank you for telling me those leads that they get, the most valuable leads that home remodeling companies want. But how would they describe those types of leads in their day-to-day business, right? And then it gave me all these, right? So it said, for homeowners planning major renovations, it's full remodel clients. For homeowners in luxury high income neighborhoods, it's luxury homeowners. It's homeowners preparing to sell, pre-sale remodels. So basically, what I did was I found the most valuable leads, and then I found out, okay, how do they describe this type of lead or customer in their industry? That way I can pitch it to them. Because you have to realize with marketing, whenever you do marketing, all you're trying to do is stand out from amongst all the other noise that they get. When you're pitching lead generation services to all these different types of companies, they've been pitched SEO, they've been pitched paid ads, they've been pitched all these other stuff for years and years and years and years and years. So the way to stand out is to make it seem like you understand them and understand their day-to-day business, especially when you're pitching them cold. When you're pitching them cold, they want to make it seem, they want, if you understand their business, they will be more inclined to reply to you. Because if they get a email that says, hey, we'll get you 10 pre-sale remodels every single month without having to use referrals, they'll be like, wow, that's a fantastic offer. Versus if they got an email that said, hey, we'll get you 10 leads every single month, they'll be like, okay, well, what is a lead? What type of lead? Like, how are you getting me? It just the second option just sounds more automated and boring. So do this, right? Do this. Ask ChatGPT how would they describe their ideal customers, and literally give me the exact way that they would describe it in their day to day, and use these phrases and terms that it gives you, right? So you by now you have the types of customers they want, how to describe that customer. The next thing is, okay, well, how many of full remodel clients do they get every 3 months, right? And then you do this for all the three most valuable customers. How many luxury homeowners do they get per month? How many pre-sale remodels do they get per month, right? And you can do per month, 3 months. It doesn't really matter. Experiment with the numbers again. I'm not going to give you, for every single industry and every single offer, it's honestly different. So mess around with the numbers, play around with it a bit, but do 1 month or 3 month, whatever it may be, and essentially ask it like, okay, for this type of valuable customer, how many do they get per month? And it'll give you like low end does this much, mid size does this much, high end does this much. And then from here, I would take the mid size, because it's appealing enough to the point where you get the mid-sized companies and you get the low-end companies. The high-end, they might not be as enticed, but depending on your target market, if you're just targeting all, let's say, remodeling companies, I'll definitely take mid-size. But if you know you're targeting larger companies, definitely go with the larger numbers. So do this for every single type of customer, and then take the middle ground if you are targeting, let's say, all types of remodeling companies or all types of whatever industry that you're targeting, right? And then ask it for every single client or every single type of customer. And then what you want to do is do this for every single type of lead, or every single type of valuable customers that you can find. And from there, you'll have a very, very good idea of, okay, here's the most valuable customer, here's how to describe them, and then here's how many they're getting per month. Then finally, what you want to do is ask GPT, okay, well, how are they getting these, types of customers now? How are they getting these luxury homeowner leads now? How are they getting these full remodeling clients now? And it'll tell you like, okay, yeah, mostly for, let's say, luxury homeowner leads, they get it through word of mouth, they get it through networking, they get it through home shows and trade events. So what you can say in the email itself is, you can be like, hey, we'll get you 10 to 15 new luxury homeowner leads every single month without using word of mouth, right? That sounds a lot better than saying we'll get you 10 leads per month, because it's super hyper specific on what type of lead that they're going to get and how you're going to help them get that lead without using a current way that they're already doing it, right? If you tell a homeowner, if you tell a remodeling company that, hey, we'll get you a luxury homeowner a lead without using word of mouth and referrals, they'll be interested. They'll be like, how? Like, I've used word of mouth and referrals all my life, or for like the past 10 years to get these luxury homeowner leads. How can you get me that, right? So this comes into play where you can quite literally figure out, what types of valuable customers what types of customers are most valuable to them, how many they're getting per month, how are they currently getting them, and how to describe them. All these combined make a fantastic offer, because you understand your target market, you understand what type of valuable customer they want, how many they're getting per month, how they're currently getting that client, and how to describe that client. So it's super good, and this is what market research will do, right, for you. So that's that part, right? Then what you want to do is, from that part, like I said, create an offer around what you just found. So for kitchen remodeling, again, what we can pitch is, hey, we'll get you 20 to 40 new kitchen remodeling leads every 90 days without using referrals. This is a current offer, by the way, we're running for a Google Ads client, and this is doing pretty good. And from all the information that you got from the last step, you just want to put it down and write it like this. And you can experiment with all these different types of offers, because by then you'll probably have, like, let's say 3 or 4 offers maybe, and you can be like, hey, well, you just write down everything, and you'll be able to find you'll be able to split test essentially all these different types of offers, which makes it so good when it comes to just split testing, right? And what you can also do, instead of doing all of that, is you can also use Claygent to analyze this and take a guess on customers. So here's what I mean, right? Basically, what you can do is you can be like, hey, let's say, and replace the remodeling with whatever type of industry that you go after. But you can say, hey, Claygent, visit the website of this remodeling company, the URL, and give me an idea of their high ticket gig or booking. It could be kitchen remodeling, entire house remodeling. I just want the output to be a service that they offer that is most expensive, and I just want that output. And then it's just this is formatting here. But basically what you're doing is you're telling ChatGPT, or Claygent in this case, to go to this company's website and basically like, hey, what is the most valuable, or like the most expensive, quote unquote, type of service that they offer, and then you're gonna pitch that in the email. So for example, if it's if it goes to the website and it finds that kitchen remodeling is the most expensive service that they offer, then it'll output back kitchen remodeling. And what you could do is you could be like, hey, we'll get you 10 to 20 new kitchen remodeling leads every single month without using referrals. Now, the only issue I have with this, and I have run this in the past, is that not every single client will have the same, or not every single prospect will have the same type of most valuable customer. So it really depends with this, because you have to guess on the numbers. But if you know that most, let's say, remodeling companies get 20 to 40 new kitchen remodeling leads every single month, you can use that same those same numbers in your email and output that. So this is an extra step that you can take. I would say if you're first starting out, do the ChatGPT method, and then once you figure out what type of ideal customers they really like and what type of offers they really resonate with, then you can get into the AI stuff and you can be very specific. I remember we ran an offer for a catering, essentially like a Meta Ads and SEO catering campaign, right? And what I did was their offer was, we'll get you 10 high ticket gigs, and gigs for caterers is it can depend on what type of gig it is, whether it's a corporate catering gig, a wedding gig. But either way, we ran this offer for this Google Meta Ads and SEO agency, and what essentially ended up happening was I did the same thing like this here, and I just told Clayton, like, hey, find me the most high ticket gig and output me that in the email. Now for my client, his offers is, we'll get you 10 high ticket gigs, but in our emails, I replaced the 10 high ticket gigs with 10 corporate catering gigs, or 10 wedding gigs, or 10 let's say, what else do we have here? I forgot, but like it was just super specific to what they wanted, because the client's offer is, we'll get you 10 no matter what. But then for the catering company, it was different, because it depends on the catering company, right? But we got super specific and used GPT to analyze what type of gig is most valuable to them. So yeah, this is more of an advanced step. I would first start off with just the ChatGPT method, and then when you get into Clay and stuff, and you figure out what type of ideal customers you really want, then you can get into that. So after you've done that, that was the first step. The second step is scripting. So now that you have your essentially your offer and or multiple offers, you're probably asking me, okay, Arian, like I have the offer, but how do I like convey this in the script? This sounds like a little like Hormozy-ish, and I don't know if it's the best strategy. I don't know how to format all of this, whatnot, whatnot. Don't worry, I got you. You could just copy these two scripts here. So the first one is you're just saying, hey, if we could get you 20 to 40 new types of leads every 90 days, would you be interested? So like, look, if we could get you 20 to 40 new kitchen remodeling leads every 90 days, would you be interested? So all you're saying is replacing. It's literally one sentence. It's quite literally one sentence, and if you do this right, it will perform really well. Because again, you're being hyper specific to them. If they are, let's say, a physical therapy clinic, and you know that physical therapy clinics work, they really want chronic care patients, and you replace chronic care patients with, like, let's say this here, you could be like, hey, if we could get you 20 to 40 new chronic care patients every 90 days, would you be interested? Then a physical therapy clinic will look at them and like, wow, this is actually a very good thought out email, because I want chronic care patients, right? And it all just comes back down to doing market research. If you're able to do market research, understand your prospect, understand their desires, what type of customers they want, how they're getting that customer, how to describe that customer, you will be able to perform a lot better, because you're being super specific to what they want, how they speak, and how they're currently getting that customer. So you can copy this script. This works very well. We've used this for tons and tons of our clients. Or you could also do something like this. This is what we ran for our own offer of cold email lead generation, and we just said, hey, curious if you'd be interested in 3 free demos with whoever their ideal customers are. We'll set up all 3 demos at no cost to you, blah blah blah. Does it sound like something you'd be open to using? And then a case study, right? So basically, you're just saying, curious if you'd be interested in 15 to 20 new chronic care patients every single month. We'll handle all of the Google Ads setups and do all the tracking and make sure that the leads are qualified. And then you're just like, does this sound like something you'd be open to? And in the PS line, you could write a case study, right? Or you could be like, hey, curious if you'd be interested in 20 to 40 new kitchen remodeling leads. We will we will use meta ads. We'll set a meta ad campaign, call the leads, and book them in your calendar so that you can show up to the call and close them. Does it sound like something you'd be interested in? And then PS, using our meta ad system, we help this other remodeling company do blah 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 blah, right? So I'm just trying to shoot some examples out for you so that you understand. But you're just saying, curious if you'd be interested in whatever types of leads that they want to work with, and however many offers, or however many types of patients that they get per month. You're gonna give more background on how it works. Does it sound like something you're interested in? And then you're gonna have a PS line essentially of one of your best case studies. So that is pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. The biggest thing that I want to get across here is, instead of just saying we'll get you 10 to 15 leads per month, be more specific. Figure out what is your target market's ideal customer, and figure out how they're currently getting that customer, how to describe that type of customer, and mention that in the email. Because that is what will set you apart compared to everybody else who's pitching them the same thing. Everybody else we'll get you 10 to 15 leads per month. We will get you qualified leads every single month. We will get you 30 leads everybody pitches leads, but nobody actually pitches the types of leads. Nobody actually pitches however they describe the leads. Nobody actually pitches the quantity of how many leads, like the exact specifics on however many, let's say, hearing aid patients they get per month. Nobody pitches that stuff. So if you can pitch that and you can mention that in your emails, you will stand out in the inbox, and you will book and close more meetings. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. And if you are a B2B business owner that's making over $30,000 a month, and you want somebody to book you 10 to 20 qualified calls every single month, I'll leave below my link in my calendar, and we can book a time to chat, and we can discuss how we might be able to help you out. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.